I've always thought the Fox propaganda hosts had a bit of a humiliation kink. They let Democrats on, get mocked, get exposed, and proven liars right on their own network. But now, that same humiliation is hitting Donald Trump, right where he doesn't want it. His very obvious cognitive and physical decline is becoming impossible to ignore, and even Fox is airing it. Tonight, a host used Gavin Newsom's own words to highlight it, and the report backing it up is devastating. We're going to break it all down. But first, if you enjoy the channel, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. Now, let's start with Fox's so-called liberal voice, Jessica Tarloff, actually praising Newsom's mockery of Trump right here.
As far as the Gavin Newsom of it all, he is not imitating him. He is mocking him. He is holding up a mirror to what Donald Trump does and how he communicates, how ridiculous these 3.5-hour-long North Korean-style cabinet meetings are.
Why was that ridiculous? You can't just say ridiculous and not say why.
Okay, if I came to a meeting, if your team for Gutfeld sat around, right, and you said, I have this idea for a joke, and they said, I've never met a funnier man than Greg Gutfeld. I think Greg Gutfeld is the funniest person.
But you don't have to watch it.
What?
No, that's voluntary. My point is, if you watch that, you learned stuff about what was going in the White House in 3.5 hours that you never would, but you're mad because they're flattering him.
I'm not mad. I'm saying that it is a particular style that most people would say most likely resembles things that go on in Russia, North Korea, or China, not in a Western democracy.
The style.
Okay. No, also the substance
but God
of
forbid
it.
The style.
All right.
It's honestly hilarious watching these Republican snowflakes acting in the most MAGA woke way possible completely miss the point. They still don't get that a mirror is being held up to them. When you live in your own bubble for so long, even the smallest bit of confrontation either goes right over your head or you just can't handle it. That's exactly what's happening with Gavin right now. They whine that he's being inauthentic or trying to act like Trump, but that's not it at all. What Newsom is doing is showing just how ridiculous Donald Trump is and how much of a cult MAGA has become for blindly going along with it. He doesn't want to be making all caps posts. Only a Fox host would be ridiculous enough to think that. He's pointing out the hypocrisy, plain and simple. And it's not just about Trump's nonsense posts. It's also about the crime data out of red states that Trump refuses to acknowledge. That's where Newsom kept up his trolling. And it only gets worse for Trump once we get to the health scandal.
He is to invest in crime suppression. I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's. In Louisiana, this Speaker Johnson, 4x higher. I'm just offering, again, you've not seen this on Fox News, so President may not be familiar with these facts. So I want to present some facts to the President of the United States, and imagine this is alarming to the President to learn these facts, particularly Speaker Johnson, who's been such a strong partner and ally in these efforts. So the carnage in Louisiana is well defined. Of course, Mississippi leads the nation as the #1 murder state in America. Imagine this in particular may resonate with the President of the United States. It's got a murder rate, it's 180%. 180% higher than Los Angeles. It's interesting. LA has more people. These are all per capita numbers. More people than Los Angeles. Perhaps the president could deploy the National Guard in every corner of Mississippi. It's the murder rate's out of control there. Carnage. And governor may want to make that phone call. Again, if they care about the issues of crime and violence. I would note St. Louis murder rate is 190% larger than Oakland. I can go on. We could talk about the carnage in Arkansas. Again, one of the top 10 murder states in America. 2.6 times greater than San Francisco. Again, these are just not just observations. They're stone-cold facts. And the fact remains, if the president is sincere about the issue of crime and violence, there's no question in my mind that he'll likely be sending the troops into Louisiana and Mississippi to address the unconscionable wave of violence that continues to plague those states.
As always, Donald Trump is focused on anything and everything except the campaign promises he made. He isn't lowering crime. Red states are drowning in it. And even if you strip out the blue cities they love to scapegoat, the numbers don't magically improve. So I don't want to hear another nonsense argument from MAGA about crime. It's the same kind of denial they push when they pretend Trump isn't in cognitive decline. It's laughable because the signs are right in front of us. Gavin Newsom has been calling it out directly, and in doing so, he's forced Fox to talk about it too. And that's the one thing Newsom really has picked up from Trump, the ability to get attention. Only now, it's the kind of attention Fox absolutely hates, because this week, Newsom made sure the entire country saw what Republicans are desperate to ignore, Donald Trump's very obvious decline, and Fox couldn't stop talking about it.
Polls demonstrate and bear out. I've got to get your reaction to this. This is Newsom on X. He posted this, and it's really, it shows you the level that he's at, where he's suggesting the president has dementia. I'm not even going to read it, but it's basically him questioning Grok and asking, what is the byproduct of dementia? My question is, does this grow his base at all?
So that post that Fox was referencing was Gavin Newsom asking Grok, the AI of Elon Musk's Twitter platform, do people with dementia repeat false things over and over again? It responded, yes, people with dementia can repeat false statements. Of course, this was alluding to Donald Trump talking about opening up the water in California. Gavin Newsom just pulled off something remarkable. He got Fox News to openly discuss whether Donald Trump might have dementia. That's what I call insanity immersion, leaning into the chaos to force conservative media to cover what they'd rather ignore. Too often, Democrats do the opposite. They tiptoe, polish their words, and end up sounding fake. Authentic speech is messy. It means risk. It means saying things bluntly, but that's what actually breaks through. Look at Jasmine Crockett. People freak out when she calls Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. But the clip spreads because she's exposing him for disenfranchising black and brown Texans at Trump's request. The insult is the hook. The truth is the hammer. That's what Newsom is doing now. By mocking Trump's obvious decline, he pushed Fox to amplify the story. The lesson is clear. Forget stale talking points. If you care about Medicaid cuts or corruption, speak like you care. Real lives are on the line, and people respond to blunt honesty. That's why Bernie Sanders has connected for decades. He doesn't sound scripted, he sounds real. Democrats should learn from that.
Dangerously, President Trump and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy are wreaking havoc on our already broken and dysfunctional healthcare system. I love the slogan. It's a great slogan. Make America healthy again. Fantastic. Unfortunately, the Trump administration is doing just the opposite. You don't make America healthy by throwing 15 million people off the health care they have, which is what Trump's big, beautiful bill does. You don't make America healthy by, as a result of these Medicaid cuts, shutting down or creating a decline in services for hundreds of nursing homes, community health centers, and hospitals throughout the country. But it gets even worse than that. Secretary Kennedy has just fired the head of the CDC, Dr. Susan Monterez, who has been on the job for just a few weeks. Her crime? Well, she refused to be a rubber stamp for Kennedy's anti-vaccine conspiracy theories. That is her crime. That's why she was fired. In other words, she believes what virtually the entire medical and scientific community believe, and that is that vaccines are an enormously important public health tool which protect the health and welfare of our children and all Americans. It is a bit absurd to have to say this in the year 2025, but let me say it. Vaccines are safe and effective. Let me say it again. Vaccines are safe and effective. That, of course, is not just my view. Far more importantly, it is the overwhelming consensus of the medical and scientific communities. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the largest professional association of pediatricians in our country, representing over 67,000 doctors who treat our kids every day. They called immunizations, quote, one of the greatest public health achievements, preventing tens of thousands of deaths and millions of cases of disease, end quote. That's the pediatricians. The American Medical Association.
It really is that simple. Democrats, get in front of a camera, look straight at people, and speak the truth. Be real, be honest. That's why Bernie Sanders connects. He doesn't overthink transitions or stage manage his message. He just talks about affordability, about how billionaires are making life harder, and people trust him because it's authentic. You don't need platitudes or polished bridges, just speak. That's what I'll keep doing on this show. And if you want to support that, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.